G'day all, and welcome back to Neverwinter Nights 2, the official campaign in my meta Sorcerer. So here we are, Arcanus, Firewalker, a Sorcerer, Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep. When last we left off, we are just about to head down the back alley to stop a shipment of weapons from coming in. So let's head into the back alley. That's right, we're going to have a loading screen here, so hopefully this won't take too long. And there we are. Now, I'm going to buff, of course, because we have some guys pretty much straight up that we have to kill. Okay. Let's get this. Most helpful watchman, consider this a gift from friends, something to show appreciation for your work. Well, we're just doing our duty, keeping the peace. That's what I like to hear. Remember that no one past you is for your own protection. Don't worry, we'll keep our eyes open. So let's see what was happening here. Stop right there. This area is, oh sorry, didn't notice you. Didn't notice the info. How are things going tonight? Things are just fine, so we won't be needing any extra watchmen tonight. Why don't you go find somewhere to relax? Your shift won't say anything. It's kind of you, but I have things to take care of here. Look, I'm trying to be nice. We don't need you. I'm sure Cormick or Berlina can find other duties for you tonight. Are you actually going to try and stop me from entering? Starting to get the picture, are you? You're not getting through. Try to stop me and I'll have to arrest you. I gave you a chance, now I'll have to deal with you. I'll just report that you were working for Moya and I had to stop you. You're under arrest for obstruction and accepting a bribe. You're making a mistake. Come on then, let's see how the Watch has been training you recruits. Man, it definitely is times like this that I really think I should have had something like Burning Hands, something that could just spray out in that direction. Scorching Ray doesn't really work that way. Fireburst is good, but I've got to wait for them to get around me first. So my best option is just to drop a scintillating sphere. Like that. Oh, and we got a level out of that too. Isn't that awesome? Save. Arcanus. Save. That was all of the bad guys killed, wasn't it? Yep, okay, so let's do these levels. Completely forgot we were that close to leveling. Okay. What are you recommending? Strength? Good, that's what I would have picked anyway. Recommend, next. Okay, so what we want here is Power Critical Warhammer. I've got a feeling we might even get a second. No, we don't. So Power Critical Warhammer. Beautiful. Kind of look forward to seeing you critting with that everywhere. Of course, you're not going to get an ability upgrade because you're one level behind, because you're a tiefling. Level up. Next. Go to Wisdom. Recommend. And let's see what you get in the way of new spells. One more third level. I'll do another Call Lightning there because I know how good that is. And the 4th level will get another Cure Serious Wounds and an Arc of Lightning, because that is pretty awesome as well. I don't think we've got Arc of Lightning down here. Of course we haven't learnt it yet. We've only just gotten that. And my level. So we are going to continue on as an Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep. Although it's tempting to go to Red Dragon Disciples sooner rather than later, but we'll stay on this one for the moment. We are going to buff Charisma. Concentration. Law. Spellcraft. Can we get another level in bluff? We can. That's good. Okay, we're finally on a 4th level spell. So do we have any extra spells down here? No. So no extra of those. None of those. Is it worthwhile dropping one of those for, say, Burning Hands? 5d4 at max is only 20 points. Colour Spray might actually be a better option, because then at least even if they're over 4 HD, they could potentially be stunned. They still get a save, but that stunning might help. Let's see what else we got. Nothing here. Cloud. I know Cloud of Bewilderment's supposed to be quite good. I should consider that at some point. Don't need anything new there. So what have we got here? Assay Resistance. What does that do? Divine the exact nature and vulnerabilities of a single creature's magical defenses, giving you a +10 bonus on caster level checks to overcome its spell resistance. Useless. Bestow Curse, no. Charms, no. Confusion, no. Contagion, no. Crushing, well, what does it do? It's just a touch, no. Crushing Despair, a Cone, just a -2 penalty to attack rolls. Elemental Shield, Innovation. Temporarily loses 1d4 levels. Evard's Black Tentacles. Now this is an interesting one. 6 seconds per level. Every round the creature is caught within the area affected. It suffers attacks from 1 to 4 tentacles, each doing 1 to 6 plus 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And if they get hit, they must make a Fortitude save or become paralyzed. That is a big contender for my next spell. Fear, no, don't want to do that. Ice Storm, 2 to 6 points of cold damage plus an additional d6 cold damage per 3 caster levels. Okay, that's interesting. Lesser Missile Storm. This one here I think is pretty good. There's no save. There's no save on Ice Storm either. So more missiles than creatures. One of the creatures will be hit multiple times. Each missile is 1 to 6 of damage, and it does 1 missile per caster level to a maximum of 10. Orb of Acid, doing 1 to 6 per level to a maximum of 15 d6. These orbs are good. Phantasmal Killer, Utmost Horror, to strike down a single creature. Will to disbelieve the spell. Failing that, they have to make a Fortitude for instant death. A successful save inflicts 3 to 6 points of damage. That is a pretty kick-ass spell as well, but it only affects one thing. That's the problem with all of these orbs. They only affect one thing. Whereas Missile Storm, Ice Storm, and Tentacles all affect multiple. Shadow Concentration, Shout, Deafened, and takes 5d6 of sonic damage. Now, Stone King Summit, Wall of Fire, 2d6 of fire damage plus 1 per caster level. That doesn't scale very well at all. Although if you're level 20, it's 2d6 plus 20. So at least it does that, but yeah. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? This is medium range. Area of effect is large. 1d4 tentacles. This is long range. Area of effect is huge. Three d6 of bludgeoning, 2d6 of cold, and an additional 1d6 per 3 levels, and that scales unlimited. Up to 10 missiles, 1 per level. Each missile does 1 to 6 points of magic damage. Long range. So far, that's the best of the spells. So I'm taking Ice Storm. And there's so many good things at this level to take. Did I want to swap out? Let's swap out the Lesser Orb of Electricity for Colour Spray. It sounds weird, but at least when I'm getting charged, I'm in the front of the party and I'm getting charged by a group. Something that I can shoot out in front of me in a wedge, in a cone, to hit them. Sounds like a good idea. And Burning Hands just doesn't 1d4 to a maximum of 5d4, just doesn't do enough damage. So at least this way I can potentially stun. They do get a save. Which completely negates it, but we'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work next level, we'll swap it out for something else. Right. What was that other? We got another. Should have. Spell Knowledge +1. The Arcane Scholar and any party member gains a +1 bonus to saves versus spells. This bonus increases to +2 at 8th level. Man, that is so good. I am loving that setup. Let's take these out of my bag and then put them back temporarily. And you know what? I'm going to just swap out that while I'm at it as well. Just put these away. Okay, so I swapped out some spells here, didn't I? So let's put in Colour Spray there. At the bottom here, after let's chuck in the Ice Storm. Now we have maximized. I can maximize Colour Spray, Lesser Orb, and Magic Missile. That is going to be so fun to try. Although maximizing Magic Missile at this point is still only going to do... What's my overall level? 8. It's still only going to be 4 missiles. So it's going to be 16. But it's 16 plus 1 per... No, 1d4. So they're going to do 5 points each. and I'm going to have 4 missiles, which is 20. It's only going to be 20 damage, but it's a guaranteed 20 damage. It will not miss, and there is no save. Only resistance can stop it. But I also will get a very limited number of casts of that per day. Or I can empower those spells as well. I'm going to have to... We're going to have to turn it on even more. I wish I could put another couple of toolbars out here. Interface, horizontal hotbar 2. Where does that go? That goes all the way over here. Can you at least move it? Oh, yes, we can. Cool. Let's put it there. What about these? Can you move them? You can. I wish I could move it over here and twist it around and make it the other way around. Let's put these heals over there. And then that's already an empowered magic missile, isn't it? Just chucking the empowered colour spray there for now. See, we're mad if I don't rest here. Whoops. What was that? I think I briefly went into rest and hit it again and it came back out. But yeah, mad to not rest at that point. Let's buff again. And summon my familiar. Right, so we are just coming down here. I think there's a bunch of guys. No, right there instead. What have we got? Looks like there's 2 more there just appearing. So let's try it. Let's try colour spray. So let's aim it like that. Damn it. I don't know if it did anything. Okay, so there's another spellcaster here. So we are going to try a maximised magic missile against you. He tried magic missile against me, but I'm immune to it with this code. Boom. We don't know how many hit points he had, because he's dead. And so that was a guaranteed. Look at that. 20 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 points each, 20 points, he's dead. Not going to do that too often though, because I've only got 4 of those per day. Ice Storm would be nice, but I think most of these guys are almost dead. You've got a little bit of health back there. Let's give you an acid arrow. Go. And maximise a Sound orb. Okie dokie. Trying to work out the best use of my spells is the biggest thing at the moment. So, got to say, really wasn't all that impressed with colour spray. But we'll try it again a couple more times and see how it goes. Pretty sure there's a bunch of guys around this corner. Yeah, look at that. And there, and there. What have we got? Paralysation, lightning, missiles, stinking cloud. That one there, I think, is a spellcaster, isn't he? He is. It's just... he's almost there. Oh, damn it. Oh. Flame burst on me. Oh. I went down. Damn it. Rest. It's a pain. Really have to keep an eye on that more. And I even lost my familiar amongst all of that. A spell breach. I don't think I really need stuff like that at the moment. What else? Entangle, find trap, remove curse. Things like remove curse would be handy to keep sometimes, but I think I'd be better off just going into a vendor and buying it. Really? Okay. Got these guys down here.
It looks as if there are 2 packs before us, and one pack looks to be members of the Watch.
Those Watch? Moya must have gotten her hooks into them. Look, those turncoats are even keeping company with dock rats.
They're just going where the money is. If you're going to risk your life, do it for the highest pay you can get. Forget I said anything. Besides, neither of you have lived in Neverwinter to see how tough life can be here sometimes.
Ha! Traitors! They're lower than the foulest of demons. At least you're...
My kind?
The 2 of you, quiet down.
You're going to attract attention.
That's more like it. A little skull crack.
Fine. Forget subtlety. Forget style. Let's just keep it simple. Just like Helga.
Very well, but my powers may not be of much use.
Okay, looks like they're all valid targets. No. No. Let's do this properly. There. That's pretty good. Now let's put a scintillating sphere right where these guys are going to be in a sec. And another one right here. So what are we left with? Not much. It's just that guy's pretty high up. Let's give him a flame arrow. That was pretty good. I think that was multiple arrows this time, wasn't it? So at least 2 hits there. And Eleni takes them out with that. Let's see what we got left. Just a regular magic missile for you. Okay, maybe not. Oh, okay, that was really easy with some decent spells. Don't know what you're all so worried about. It's the first time I've taken them on like that. Normally I have to come around here to find them all because we get them to split up because of a fire, but we didn't have to do that this time. And it was
Give me a moment, and this will all be over.
easy. Flame arrow should take you down pretty easy. Yeah. And then you, let's daze you to begin with. Maybe not. Drop anything? No, neither did that one. There's nothing else down here. Nope. Okay. Let's go have a look at this crate. The only thing I'm regretting now is that maybe I didn't get a better armor spell. I could have gone for a 4th level protection spell, which might have helped a little bit with if guys do get close, because this is not cutting at the moment. My armor is just not. Armor class is still pretty low. We're not looking for any trouble. Who are you looking for trouble with? How'd you go find someone else to we're a little busy? Gonna have to ask you to take the barricade and leave. Why is that? Not picking up the key combinations.
Give me a moment, and this will all be over.
Oops, let's do these first. That one. That one. And that one. How are we doing? Was that all of it? It was. What did we get out of that? Flame arrow spell. Lesser amulet of the master. Diplomacy, disable device, lore, open locks, search, and spell resistance. That really is something that benefits Nishka more than anyone else. Short sword +1. Just chuck that to Kelgar.
How can I help?
You already have amulet of armor class +2.
I am listening.
Follow me.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, 26 AC. Like, you just can't be killed, can you, Kelgar? Mine's 18.
Yes.
Everybody, follow me.
With the exception of my mouse. My rat, I should say. I've got the lowest AC of the group, and in fact the lowest AC of any character I have ever played. Thought I heard a noise. Right. Another thug there, and you're a spellcaster, so let's just put you out of your misery straight away. Maximize magic missile, 20 points damage. You're done. And you're another spellcaster right there, so let's do the same for you. What else have we got? Scorching ray, maybe. There we go. We're done. This is going to be fun, so let's rest up, make sure we've got all of our spells ready, and we're all healed up as much as we can be. I remember what Stinking Cloud does. I really should consider using that as well. I've got it there, although I don't have too many charges in it. arrest for smuggling and treason. These watches will be used. Ice Storm. Actually, those guys aren't really going to move all that much. Right there. Get rid of those guys in the back. Let's do fire burst here, just in case there's guys around me. Oh, I keep forgetting I've got to target myself when I do that. Okay, I need to heal. We got thug. And then we got the guys back there. It's just one of them back there. You're almost dead. You're almost dead. And he's down. We're all down. I want to loot these corpses a little bit first. Is there anything else down here? No, there wasn't. Is this the corner around here? Is this where the... No. Maybe that's the warehouse that you access from the other direction. I don't know. Let's go.
Lieutenant, what have you to report?
It is as we suspected. Our informant was correct.
I will need you to report to the meeting point at once and deal with those who were intended to receive the shipment. I suspect they will be much easier to handle without the weapons they were meant to pick up. But be cautious. I also want you to keep an eye out for anything there that might shed more light on their smuggling operations. We've shut down one smuggling route, but they must have others. Fortune to you, Lieutenant, and see to it these men are dealt with.
Go and sell up. Although we're going to get to the point soon where we can't sell much more to Deacon because he won't be able to afford it. Although I don't think we got a lot of high-end gear this time. Still cool. Oh good, we can finally sell those. And bolts. Did that just swap them? Damn it. What a silly mechanic. Loot it all. And put that back. And that back. That back. That back. And that back.
Yes.
Just trying to remember if we had something we didn't identify yet.
Yes.
Okay. Damn it. $41,000. What did this do again? Armor class +2, 2 bonus second and third level spells. I really have to consider going to Red Dragon Disciple. How soon to do it? Even 1 level might be good. But I think the problem is that you don't continue gaining levels as a sorcerer, for example, while you're doing Red Dragon Disciple. So I'm not going to continue getting more spells, or at least with the Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep I do. Oh, hang on. I'll just see if there's anything else I wanted. So there's nothing in here that I want just now. Although the Nymph Cloak +2 will give me more charisma. Makes my spells harder to defeat. There's nothing in here that I want. Nothing in there that I want. Nothing in there that I want. And nothing in there that I want. Okay. Do need to rest though. just quickly have a look at something for a second. Let's see some information about a Red Dragon Disciple class. Some classes. Red Dragon Disciple. Have to be a bard or a sorcerer. First level, your skin toughens, so you get a +1 to natural armor class. It goes to +2 at 4th level, +3 at 7th level, and +4 at 10th level. At 2nd level, you gain a +2 to strength. At 4, that goes to +4. At 7th level, you get a +2 to constitution. At 8th level, you get +2 to intelligence. And at 10th level, you gain a +4 to strength. An additional +4 to strength. You get a breath weapon at 3rd level, which scales. At 5th level, you can fight well even if blinded or against invisible. At 10th level, the transformation is complete. You become a half-dragon, gaining dark vision as well as immunity to sleep, paralysis, and fire. But you don't continue as... You can't still gain more spells. That would be so tempting, but I'd be stuck with the spells I already had. Okay. Let's just save where we're at. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with where this is going right now. It's just that there's no specialist armor for an Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep. Which in a way sort of makes sense, but it would be nice just to have a little something, you know? We really, my AC sucks, and I have a real problem with balancing, because this Robe of Energy, while it's great giving me an immunity to Magic Missile, which is wonderful because every mage I meet casts Magic Missile and I can shrug it off. G'day to Red Spy, how's it going? Just debating on my character what I can do with my Sorcerer to get a slightly better armor class, because I just don't have many options, and it's like, what do I want more? A few extra hit points or a few extra AC? You're streaming as well. What are you streaming? Okay, so let's get, hang on, what am I doing? Buff first. Yeah, I've heard of Team Fortress 2, can't say I've played it though. Right. I just got a new computer, it's nothing spectacular, but then I don't play any of those super high-end games. First-person shooters and stuff like that, so... save before we head in. Okie dokie, so So the decisions are to take out the spellcasters first, or just take out everybody. And I think just take out everybody seems to be a pretty good option. Let's see if we can blind that guy for a bit. There we go. You're not, Eleni. Oh, good. And now that he is distracted, it's just acid arrow to take him down. Damn it, I missed. How did I miss? Try not to waste too many spells in here. I mean, there are places that I can rest, so it's not too bad, but I don't want to have to backtrack all the way to the start of the damn thing just so that I can rest a bunch of times. Okie dokie, so let's just do Scintillating Sphere this time, because it's a bit quicker to cast. Haha, you cast a magic missile against me, but I am immune. Why don't you... no, don't do the full power magic missile, because, quite frankly, it's a waste on him. Oh. I am getting pummeled. Is it worthwhile? How many bad guys are there? There, 2. Let's see if I can move over here out of the way. That worked well. That worked very well. Oh, we've still got one thug back there. Just a single magic missile I think will do. There we go. Okay. Biggest question here is how much stuff to loot. We'll come back for those those, because Kelgar can carry a lot of them, but we want to be sure we've got enough room to carry everything else. What did we get? Invisibility, speed. You know what? Let's just use that. And hell, let's use that too. Not going to use the speed yet, but I'm going to try and keep on top of it. I don't think there's anyone in that area just there. Let me just double check. No, it's down that corridor that they are. So we're going to come back this way. I know there's people in this room, and I'm going to get the drop on them because I'm going to be there before they can ever hope to see me, because I am invisible. So let's Ice Storm right on that thug. And that took out most of them. Oh, there's another one there. Oh no, they're all the way over there. Hang on, there was one here. You're kidding me, you survived that? Completely unharmed. Let's give you a full barrage of magic missile. We didn't have... Where's that guy? Oh, he's in the other group. It's so annoying they're showing me the other group from all the way over there. I might just let my guys bash these guys. It won't take them very long. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's clean up in here. Okay. I've said this before when I've been in this room. Oh. Thought there was there's remains caught in there behind a barrel. These are actually 3 crates around here, and you've just got to make sure that you check them all properly. One does have stuff, the other ones don't, and then there's a barrel here. I checked those crates? I don't think I did. No, I didn't, see? And there's nothing there, so that's good. Okay. I'm going to go into this next little area here. So I'm going to go into this area and up here, but I'm not going to go anywhere around there. Oh, I forgot. There's a spell caster. Right. There. What's the best option for this lot? Let's do... No, I didn't want to do scintillating sphere on you. I wanted to do it right about there. No, that's no good spot for it. My guys are alright for now. I am just going to flame arrow you, mage. I think I am running a little low on potions. Let's drop a fire burst on ourselves. Hopefully get rid of these guys that are pounding on me. Well, not completely got rid of them, but this is where something like Ghostly Visage would come in really handy. Damn it. Come on, guys.
Let us press the attack. Sure. I think we've had enough of this one.
Finally. Come on, take him down. It's not that hard. There we go. Let me get up. Come on. Right, and then let's rest. So as I was saying before, I'm going to clear out this area, but I'm not going to head here because that triggers a bunch of guys around there. I'm going to come back here. I've done all of this now. I'm going to check and make sure these 2 rooms are clear. There's guys in this hallway and in these rooms. I'm going to clear them out. I'm going to clear this out. I clear out that room. I clear out this room in this area. And then I move across the top here and finish up. I've done that several times now and it seems to work well. So it's something that I'm going to keep doing. Let's just clean all of this stuff up a little bit. Potion of Law. Use that. Critical wounds. This is a whole bunch of traps. Thieves' tools. Thieves' tools. Thieves' tools. There we go. And I probably should be using this bowl of water elemental a little bit more too. still having a bit of a problem working out how to survive in some of these close combats with these rogues. If I can stop them getting close, I'm fine. And you know, generally that's probably not too hard to do. Stop them getting all that close. Alright, so we've got these crates here. We're going to check very carefully. And that's just a whole bunch of scrolls. And you know what? I'm probably going to use about half of them right now. If I can. These tools, that all go to Nishka. To ignore all of those short bows except for that one. It's the only one worth a damn. You can have that, and that, and that. Okay, let's open that. Can't use that. What's that one? Gust of wind, no protection from alignment. I think I'm already using that, aren't I? There's no sense doing that. Mass camouflage, can't use it. Fear, don't want to use it. I can use that spell next time I rest to save something up, and maybe I'll chuck these couple down here so that I don't forget them. And maybe that water elemental as well. Right. So, come back down this way. Oh. I can summon Mini. Really wish I had the Raven here. I liked in Neverwinter Nights 1 the Raven familiar. So I've been playing with that one a little bit. Okay, let's... that one. We're going to target an ice storm on him. Hopefully take out most of the guys in that corridor. And now we'll do a scintillating sphere. Oops. Keep forgetting that if I want to make sure that it goes the right spot. Near death. You're just kidding me, you're uninjured? I'll have to do something about that. Let's do a scorching ray on you. Damn it. Oh, one of them hit. Thankfully we had 2 rays to go off. So it's just those 2 guys left. And they're both pretty well almost dead, so I'm just going to use my rod here. I'm not going to waste any... Oop. Not going to waste any real spell abilities on that. There we go, all done. Wow, I did actually kill that last thug myself. That's good. That's what I like to see. Just got to be careful because there's actually a bunch of thugs in that room too. Come past here, they're probably going to come out behind me. Never my luck. Nope. Okay, so we want to clean up this ring quickly and quietly so we don't trigger anyone else around here. So let's grab all of that. What else have we got there? Scare? No thank you. Wine. Spirits. Ale. Thieves' tools. Bullets. Thieves' tools. And then we're going to look in here. Okay, all we want out of that is the magic one. It's not bad, it's a short sword +2. Camelgar can carry that. Right, let's come back around here. I really wish I could detect the guys in that room. without having to go in. Let's run in, come straight back out, and now let's drop that right there.
I think we've had enough of this one.
Now I'm going to get out of the way and let my guys take out the rest. But I think another scintillating sphere right there should help to take down a lot of the stragglers. Gee, there's still a lot surviving there. My storm might have been better. What happens if I go right here, next to the wall, and drop a fire burst on myself? You know what? That did kill at least one. Might do that again. Oop, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted... no, that. Yeah, that really didn't do anything that time. Okay. What do we got? Just a couple of guys with very little hit points left. Okay. Let's go in here and clean up all of the remains. Funny lot of remains stuck up on there. Ooh, heals, that's good, I need them. Let's make sure that that's down on the bar properly. And then over here, what have we got? More traps. It's all coin, I guess. Open. That, and that. Wonder what alignment that protected me from, because it didn't say. Okay. I want to be careful coming down here because now we get some more guys out of this room, I think. There's a door there. There's no door into that area from here, so that's good. Is there any guys in there? No. So let's just slip over to here. Oh no, that's right, there is nobody in this room. So we're safe enough. Still doing pretty good for spells by the looks of it. So a lot of coin in these rooms. A lot of coin. Okay, I'm going to come down here. Now, I've mentioned this before. You hold down your Z key to see what's around. This looks like one massive big area. But in fact, can I do a heal on my mouse? Good. It's actually two different lots of crates. So you've got to be careful to make sure that you actually do both. Open. So let's see what we got there. Negative energy trap, garnet, trap, 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 invisibility spell, bark skin potion. I should be using things like that more. See, 21, from 18 to 21, that's actually very good. Why am I not doing that more? Gotta be careful. Can we search this barrel without Bless, cure critical wounds, Cat's Grace. Can't use most of those. Bestow Curse. Useless. Can't use those. Cat's Grace. Going to use just to see if it does any. Does it help me at all? Give me a bit more AC or something? Oh, on me. Nope. Probably because I'm wearing those Nash's boots. Okay, I think we're safe in here. I don't think there's any bad guys around. So we can loot that. Okay, don't want anything but the adamantine light shield, which we will pass over to Kelgar. Okay, that's good. Let's come around the back around this way. Just making sure I'm covering all bases, doing all the different areas. Is there any guys in there? Nope. Let's come around this side first. This is actually a pretty good place for us to rest. Oh, and I thought there was no one around there. Obviously there was. Okay. Scintillating sphere, right in the middle of all that. And another one. Magic missile on you. Wow, I didn't take him down. Let's daze him. Oh, sorry, daze. He's already targeted. That didn't work. Well done, Kelgar. What was I saying about resting around the corner? I think we're going to have to. Come on. Rest. There we go. And off. We have here invisibility and gust of wind, so I'm going to cast invisibility on myself as well. Okay guys, let's go. Just quickly loot all of that. Put it all in the bag. There, and there. Actually thinking it might be a good idea to summon that water elemental. Just don't know if that's going to break my invisibility. Just use it down there. Twit. There we go. Okay. Just going to sneak to right here. See anyone? Nope. Scroll. Heroism. What does that do? Probably won't tell us. Great bravery. Heroism on Kelgar. Okay, we've looted all of that. Let's quickly just come here, See if we can loot all of this super quick. That is a hold person, which, you know, really don't want. Potion of cure serious wounds as well. Actually, we can try it. I've got a wand of paralysation here, but we can actually try using that. So we're going to get attacked here. And that guy there, we are going to Ice Storm. What guy? Colour spray, right there. No, I didn't do jack. Okay, and then let's drop a scintillating sphere back in the middle of all that mess. Who's still alive? There's just one of them. Let's frost him. He's dead. I'm just going to take another heal potion quickly. And then drop another. Okay. Are you going to drop anything? You are. Cool. There's nobody in there, but we do have to, I think. Don't think we've. I can't remember if we've raided that or not. There's going to be a guy in here, so I'm going to go to here. I'm going to stop right there. There is a guy right there, Barlow. Let's try hold on him. Where's it gone? We're unpaused. Why are you not doing anything? Okay, wand of paralysation maybe? Maybe we've got to get a little bit closer. There. Can I paralyse you? What did that just do? You're telling me I can't do anything because he's behind all of that? I can ice storm him. There we go. And yeah, you're held now, so you're pretty much dead. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to let Kelgar pound on you like that. And there's going to be guys coming out of that room there, Kelgar. V, W, hold. We want them to come out to us. Okay. V, W. No. V. Exploration. Follow me. Now, what have we got? Not detecting any. There we go. So let's just make sure that everyone is guarding me. And now, let's just put that on him. injured. Fine. Crates here, let's see what's in them. A whole bunch of daggers, not worth it. A few gold, that would be all we would get from that. Okay, pile of gold on the table. 500, nothing else here. Okay, we've got to make sure we've got the stuff in this one around here. Oh, I forgot that. So let's get that. Let's come out here. Let's make sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got these already. Yeah, that was all those short swords. And that was all of those. Okay, so if we then come down here, it was one of these around here somewhere that had the chainmail in it. Right, it was. So Calgar, let's start picking up this chain, putting it in your lesser magic bag. So let's put that in, let's put that in, let's put that in. Can we have both of those open? No. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going until you say you're burdened.
Down at the moment.
Okay. Open.
A little way down at the moment. A little way down at the moment. A little way down at the moment.
Might be able to take
A
one
little
more.
way down at the moment.
Let's have a look.
A little way down at the moment.
No.
A
Still
little
a
way
touch.
down at the moment.
Okay, so let's leave it at that.
A little way down at the moment.
There we go. We've got all of those because they are, I think they're a couple of grand each. Right, let's head back up here and finish this quest off. Actually, before we finish, I'm going to rest so that I can get rid of this damn water elemental, because it's just a pain in the butt in any cutscenes or anything like that. So if I rest up, it'll disappear, and then we'll click on this. Nishka will want to search the place. We're going to let her for once. And then
What are you looking for? We've cleaned the place out already. Can't you just call some of your watch friends over to search the place?
Oh, no. I've got a warehouse full of who knows what here, with no guards. I'm gonna see if there's anything I can help myself to.
have fun, just let me know what you find.
You know I will. Don't worry. I'll try not to get too greedy.
I don't know what you see in her. She's nothing but trouble. Well, I trust you to do the right thing, but not her. So, what are you looking at there anyhow?
Not as much to pick through as I thought there would be. Here. I did find something for you, though. Just looking out for you. And besides, we could always sell it if you can't use it. I found a little something for myself, too. Nice blade, don't you think? What are you trying to say? You know I wouldn't hide anything from you. Yeah, right. You're totally bluffing. I was way too quick for you to spot me putting that other stuff I found in my pouch. I mean, the stuff I didn't put into my pouch. I mean, well, all right. All right, you got it. Stupid slip of the tongue. here you go. I was gonna tell you about finding this, I swear. But I just forgot about it while searching for other stuff. You know.
So, she found a ruby, isn't that nice? Good, that pushes my alignment back towards chaotic. She gave me a great sword. Damn it, I can't use a great sword. It's unidentified so far. But I believe I have... How many more? 9 more charges on that. Damn. I have a potion of lore in here, I think. I'm gonna chuck that speed in. We're going to chuck that in. Going to chuck that in. We're going to chuck that in. I'm not going to use that ever now, so we're going to chuck that in. We have a potion of lore. So let's drink that. Now let's examine this. And I still can't see what it is. God damn it.
How can I help?
And you haven't identified that either.
Yes.
Any luck? No.
Yes.
No. No. Yeah, see, this is the dagger that gives her 2-weapon fighting, plus a bonus to tumble. So we don't have to give Nishka 2-weapon fighting skill anymore. She can just equip that, and voila, she can now fight with 2 weapons. So that's the sort of thing we like. Makes it much easier. So, cool, but I still haven't identified that sword yet. Of course, I can't equip it, even though it says it wants to let me. Cannot equip an unidentified item. Fine, we shall identify it at the store. Where are we now? We've got to find our way out. We can't just click the button and say, yep, we're out now. So let's come back out. No, I didn't want to open that. Thank you. I want to come down here. And then go over here. And then go over there. And out this way. Let's just stop here. Quick save. Just on the off chance. Okay. I'm going to, while this is loading, etc., I'm going to be right back. Hang on. And we are back, and it still hasn't finished loading it. Why is that not a surprise? think the time that it goes the slowest is when there's a cutscene. Such as now.
And I want the archers to secure the perimeter. The rest of us will split up into 3 squads. The City Watch. Commendable of Captain Berlena to send support, but we have things under control here.
Is that so? Well, guess we'll just stand back and watch then.
You're welcome to observe, of course, but I'd appreciate it if you'd stay out of the way. This operation requires careful coordination, and you haven't had the training these men have. This is a delicate matter that has attracted the attention of Lord Nasher himself. I'm sorry, that sounded rather pompous, didn't it? Good to see that the Watch can still find level-headed recruits. You seem sincere enough. We received word of weapons being smuggled into this district and have tracked down the distribution point to this warehouse. Lord Nasher has ordered us to confiscate the weapons and hopefully avoid a street war in the docks.
I hate to tell you, but I've already sent the weapons back to Captain Berlina.
What? When did this happen? We were told to expect strong opposition.
Not long ago, I was just leaving to report back to my post when I saw you.
Lord Nasher will be most pleased to hear the news. This should help the Watch's position at the next council meeting. I must confess that there are those of us who are beginning to question the competency of the Watch and its leadership. I see that I have been mistaken.
Watch is here to serve.
And you've done an admirable job of it here. Well then, it appears the men and I have some time on our hands now. Is there a tavern around here that you could recommend?
Yeah, let's cause trouble and send them to the Sunken Flagon.
Ah, yes, Duncan's place. It's been a while. Thank you. You heard it, lads. The Watch has things under control here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another evening of boredom catering to the lords and ladies at court. Not so. We all need a respite from such arduous duty. Tonight, we'll be reacquainting ourselves with ale and tavern wenches. To the Sunken Flagon. I think Duncan's going to be quite upset when he sees what's invading his tavern. The old sot's gonna have to work tonight. Thank you again. You've saved me a lot of trouble. Possibly the lives of many of my men. I shall report the good news to Lord Nasher right away.
Yes, well, it was a close call with a couple of my men, too. Sorry, just going to clean my glasses for a sec, and then we will go and sell up, and then talk to Captain Berlina and Marshal Cormac. I think, now that we've done this, our next task is to go do the emissary, which means we're close to having caught up to where we were in our previous playthrough. I think I'll sell most of this in the docks, not here in the merchant quarter, so I'll go and see Captain Berlina first. And get a refresher on what our next mission will be. Am I going the right way? No. Around here.
Lieutenant, congratulations on your efforts at the warehouse. A great deal of gold and weapons were recovered. It is good that you were able to deal with the smugglers so quickly, for we have a new problem. Time is of the essence. One of our best informants, Phyllis, has been exposed. Even now, killers are hunting for him.
We can't afford to lose him. He has risked much to help Neverwinter over the years. If he dies, then we lose our best shot at taking back the docks. He cannot walk the streets without an escort. So he's hiding in his house here in the merchant quarter until we can send someone we trust, to get him and bring him back here. He owns many of the warehouses in the district, and the damage to trade has...
We want you to go...
The reason...
We need you to...
Okay. While that is technically an urgent mission, there really is no urgency. If we turn up at any time, it'll be fine. So, I'm going to go back to the docks and sell all this stuff I took from the warehouse and then come back. Let's head down here to Raylene and sell everything to her. Let's get her to identify this for a start. Shining Light of Lathander, that's right. And it's really not much of a sword at all, but she's willing to give you 10 grand for it. I don't understand that. Like, you know, there'll be other weapons that we'll sell that we get way less for that do way more than that. But hey, it's got the name Lathander associated with it, so it must be good. That and that and that. Those and that. Do we have any more bullets? No. There weren't any more normal arrows either. So that'll do for now. So let's sell all of this. Oh, hang on. Silly me, we can't sell that. And should I put that yet? Okay, 56 grand.
I am listening.
You had a couple of shirts to sell.
Everybody, follow me!
You had a shirt to sell. And here's where it gets interesting. Open.
I'm a little
Little.
way down at the moment.
If you think you're way down, imagine how I'm going to be when you give it all to me to sell. Because you get 280 for one of those shirts. I get 380.
Yeah?
thought they were worth more than that, but I guess not. Still, they're the most expensive things, barring these couple of, well, the Duskwood short bow and the short sword and the Animanium shield. Out of all the normal things that were in there, they're the most expensive. There we go. Beautiful. 70 grand. But still, nothing to spend it on. Lens of detection. It's not worth the money for what it does. Amulet of health. Immunity to disease, level ability, drain and poison. Interesting. What was that one again? 25 grand for Ring of Spell Battle. Dispel magic and +1 spellcraft. That's not worth that. Not in the slightest. Ring of Resistance, Protection +2. It's almost worth considering getting that. And I don't know. Let's head back and do this mission. Lost the, there we go. Keeps losing the knowledge of the fact that I'm carrying that shard. What are you doing? No. There was a Neverwinter Nights 1 real bug like that as well. Sometimes you'd think you were clicking beyond the door and it was still registering as being the door that you just clicked on. Okay, I'm gonna buff myself here. And summon my familiar. Okay, so fairly tight quarters in here if I remember rightly. The exit's that way, so I'm going to head around this way first and clean out this area and then come back that way. Which is not going to be that easy because I seem to recall that even right now from this direction, oh, there's going to be a whole bunch of baddies coming from in there. So let's drop a lightning fireball there. And hell, let's drop another one on him because he's trying to run. And you, I don't know what you think you're doing. But I'll let Kelgar fix you up. What are we doing down there? They're all mostly dead except for you. So I'll give them a bit of a hand with you. No, I don't really need to now. But how did you survive that? And another spellcaster down there. See if I can cast Flare against you. Maybe not. Near death. Does someone want to come and get this guy in front of me who's just about to kill me when he wakes up? There we go. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, things are just always in rather tight quarters around here. Search that crate. Just a bunch of junk, really. There's no one in here, if I remember rightly. And even though you can open that door, there's nothing in there that you would want. So it's pretty pointless. Okay, out this door. So I'm going to move over here. Prepare to be eviscerated, hey? Let's just turn around so we can see them coming. Right, you're coming from that direction. Yeah, we can do that. Wow, they took down Eleni already and she's our healer. Let's just keep dropping these. Okay. Get up, Eleni. God, I really won't think this is the first time you've been knocked down. Let's come in here.
Yes.
Can you unlock that for us, please? And then disarm it as well. Actually, that's not a bad idea. It's been a while since we saved, hasn't it? Wow, yeah, nearly half an hour since any sort of saves were done. And nearly an hour since we did a full save. So I'm just going to do a quick save as well, just to make sure I've got multiple references in case I screw up. So those guys were in there, but they're out now. Let's get down here. Look. Hello. See if I can daze you. Yeah, I'm going down. Break free, get some heals. There we go. Oh, look, more heals. That's good. We need them. Chuck stuff in the bag. Do. And that. Hang on. bosses were higher than that. Just going to leave them in there from now on. It's annoying, but seriously, sick and tired of never being sure whether I've got the damn thing working for me or not. I was positive it was in the 70s before. Now it's back in the 60s. So let's just work this out. My character is essentially level 8. I have +3, so that's 7. 7 8s are 56. So 56, and then I've got 2 meta feats, so that's 58, and the 10 bonus. Okay, 68. That's good. Okay, that is right. At least it seems right to me at this point, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, so that's where we started. We've cleaned out that room. This guy's in this room here. Let's walk in to drag them out. Let's come out. Let's come all the way back over here. And then let's drop that right there. Don't know how many that killed, but hopefully quite a few. Still more to go though, so let's pick that guy there and drop another one on him. I don't know if it's not injuring some of them because I technically can't see them, which is stupid. It should still be injuring them. Let's unselect you and let's do that. No, you wouldn't let me do it. Why not? Did it actually affect one of those guys or not? I don't see a debuff over any of their heads. I'm going to move over this way a little bit because then I can see that guy who's a spellcaster, I think. Or at least he's wearing robes of some sort. So I'm going to give you a maximized magic missile to teach you. You've got more hit points than normal. So either you are not a normal spellcaster. Happy New Year, Calentology. Sorry, I didn't notice you there in the chat. Yeah, that stealth stuff they've got is just such a pain. Never being able to see them all clearly. Like, I just cast Scintillating Sphere in this doorway, and it should have nuked. There was like 6 of them standing around the door, and only like 2 or 3 got hit because the other ones were considered unseen. It's like, no, that's not right. Okay. So yeah, a little bit of fun there. Still one going. Wow, you're doing alright. Let's give you an acid arrow. There we go. And lately it's been Eleni, my healer, who keeps getting killed by everything. It's really strange. damn it, there she goes down again. Why did you not detect that trap, Nishka? And then why did you not fix it? I forgot that was trapped. Oh, well, let's rest on. What? You gotta rest again because... Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird mechanism, that stealth thing. Never really liked it, but, you know, try and work around it. Okay. Oh, I didn't summon my familiar. Right. Don't think I've looked in that room yet. Don't recall what was in there. I know there's no body in there, but there's also no thing in there either. So we can come up here. Yeah, nice. You'll see me dead, hey? Let's do... no. Not that. Let's do... sure. See how that goes. Okay, fire burst on myself. No, I haven't actually tried any of the mods for the Warlock in this, mostly because I wasn't sure if they would work when I'm running on Linux, not on Windows. Does sound like it would be good. How are we doing? Got these couple of guys. Oh, look at that. That is almost begging. I've had this one sitting here all this time. That's pretty much begging me to do. Was that the right one? Wand of Lightning. Whoop. So wait for that to finish. Yeah. What do we have? We have one guy there, one guy there, one guy there. So if I do Wand of Lightning, will it get multiples? Yep. There we go. And I will do Acid Arrow. Yeah, I haven't really had too much of a problem when playing the Warlock on casting and all that sort of stuff. You know, yeah, sometimes if you don't do things in the right order, it gets a little bit weird. But you know, having to cast Eldritch Blast and target it on pretty much every go, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but I got used to it and it wasn't such a problem. I think the main thing for me was, in my last playthrough, you know, it was a bit silly to play a half-orc. And I had really messed up Kelgar, was the main thing. And then when I saw how much damage Cora was doing as opposed to my Warlock, it was just like, okay, the Warlock is fun because it's different, but if I want to do like seriously wrecking amounts of damage, then Sorcerer is definitely the way to go, and that's why I'm doing this. I will probably come back at some point and replay the main adventure as a warlock and do it properly. I mean, I had a halfling warlock, which I got probably about the same place where I am now. Actually, no, I got further than that. I think I cleaned out the orcs at around Old Owl Well with the halfling warlock. Before that, I had a human warlock, which I actually got all the way through to the stronghold, where you have your home, where you start to have the stronghold. So that's somewhere in chapter 2, I believe. So I have actually got quite a way through previously with the warlock, but at the moment,
How can I help?
I wanted something a little bit. I want something just OP, really, and there's no doubt about it. The Sorcerer is very, very OP. Maybe not, but for me, it's just, I know these games are all about damage, and if you can survive the first few levels as a Sorcerer and have a good party with you, then, you know, you just do shocking amounts of damage. And I like that. Warlock does individually do damage. I'm going to take that Sash of Shimmering because that's fairly good. Yeah, Warlocks do have problems, but I don't know, maybe because they were unique enough and interesting enough, I overlooked a lot of the problems that they've got. Damn it, we're having to rest again because Eleni just keeps getting hit. What is going on with you, Eleni? Seriously. You've got one of the better armor classes. You've got a decent weapon and a decent shield. And you've got healing spells coming out of the wazoo. Why are you getting killed so much? I just don't understand it. Anyway. I think the main problem with the Warlock is doesn't really, like, he's slow to build abilities that affect multiple opponents. And so, you know, you can get Eldritch Chain, but initially it just chains to your target and one other, and then it'll go to 2 others, and then eventually it'll go to 3 others, but that takes a long time to get to that. And then, most of the stuff isn't, you know, it's targeted at one opponent, not many, and then also any of the, you know, very few of their buffs or anything like that work on anyone but themselves. So Sorcerer is Warlock is a very selfish character to play, because it's, as a Warlock, it's all about you. And that, I don't have a problem with that per se. I find it interesting, definitely. I can't even touch these guys yet. As far as the game is concerned, they don't exist. If I drop a scintillating sphere anywhere here, I will be lucky if it does damage to any of these guys until they reveal themselves. Get me out of here. Potion. No. Don't do melee. Finish him. Thank you. Ooh, another opportunity for lightning. Maybe, maybe not. No, not so much. What a waste. What a waste. And you're almost dead again, Eleni. yeah, I'm trying to think what I've done other times when I've come through here. I've played through, as I said, Warlock a couple of times. I've had a Swashbuckler get this far. I've had a Ranger get this far. Swashbuckler was really hard. I don't think I'm going to be playing Swashbuckler much again. I liked the idea of the Swashbuckler. And I've tried several times to build... I had an Arcane Archer get this far as well. I've also tried several times in both Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2 to build a dex-based fighter. Because it, you know, with weapon finesse and 2 weapon fighting and stuff, because it sounds like it should work well, but you just don't get the damage bonus. I noticed that in, at least in Sword Coast Legends, I don't know if I want to say in D&D 5, because I know they made some changes to Sword Coast Legends, but it is based on the D&D 5 rule set. And I noticed that in there, if you're using a finessable weapon, then not only do you get a bonus to hit based on your dex, but the bonus to damage is based on your dex as well, which I think is actually quite good. You know, the argument could be that, you know, if you're that nimble and dexterous enough to be able to wield that weapon in a finessable way, then that dexterity should also allow you to do more damage, you know, like a twist or a flick as you're pulling the weapon out, for example, that does more damage, or any of those sorts of things. So let's not forget to save. So yeah, I've tried a lot of that sort of stuff. As I said, I don't really remember what I did differently, or if I did anything differently other times. So yeah, there's going to be guys coming out of these rooms. It's just a matter of clearing it all at the moment. That's all I'm just going to do. I'm just going to concentrate on clearing. Not much else I can do. There's a door there. Are they going to come this way? Are they going to open that door? No. Okay, so yes, they are. Look at that. They came through the door. See, that's wrong. Those guys should not have survived that.
I think we've had enough of this.
Not with that little amount of damage, anyway. Look at that shit. Where the hell are you? No wonder you're getting killed. You're running all over the place doing stupid things. And then in my attention to that, I have to then leave myself vulnerable and almost get killed. Yeah. Finish this guy off. Where is she? I'll come around this way. See if there's anything I can do from this angle to help. And let's do Melf's Acid Arrow. There we go. And let's put that back up on my heal bar. You heal yourself. And then... whoop.
Of course.
And then heal me. So let's try this. Where are we? Let's open the cabinet. Armory. Back.
Yes.
Because last time you unlocked this, or one of these, you unlocked it and then you didn't reveal the trap and it blew its all to cup. Okay. Nothing there. Oh, look at all that in there. Okay. Let's try that. Let's put Kelgar in the door. Just wait there. How come Eleni can do that and it works every time I try doing it? None of them take any damage. When I drop an ice storm down there, with half of them half of them hidden, it barely does anything.
I think we've had enough of this one.
Is there a back entrance to that? No, there isn't. There's no door over that way.
I think we've had enough of this one.
Let's try Scorching Ray on many in that area. See what it does. Did I even do that Scorching Ray then? Yeah. Don't think I hit anything. It's just this one guy left. Let's flame arrow in. That may have been a mistake. Lightning right there. Oi, I said right there. Can I do it or not? Hurry up. There we go. And I need to heal again. I'm positive I chucked an ice storm down in one of those rooms just earlier, and because half the guys weren't visible, it just didn't damage them at all. It's not so much that they can save against it, it's that the game considers them to be invisible or sneaking up or whatever, and so they just don't seem to be affected by that spell at all at that point. My biggest wish is really just that Eleni was an actual cleric rather than a druid, because I basically sacrifice all of her powerful, like I could give her, if you look at the spells I've got set up for Eleni, I've got just heals everywhere because I need someone to heal the party if things go bad. But I could be giving her, like, she's got, you know, I could be going all Arc of Lightning there, all Call Lightning there, or Creeping Cold. I've got Creeping Cold here, but I could be doing Ice Storm. I don't actually know where that Ice Storm came from, because she doesn't have it. You know, I could be doing all Ice Storms, or even Moonbolt's not too bad. I could be doing all of that and just letting her wipe the guys out. But there's two problems with that. One, you rest up, and then the first little creature she comes across, she casts something like Ice Storm and wastes it on one guy. And then two, I then have no one who can heal the party. Like, they're really, like, I really want a cleric. I don't want to play one myself, but I want one that I can add to the party. Because at the moment, you know, at least if the character was a cleric, I can call up all of those special spells, but then change them to be heals at the drop of a hat. Druids don't have that. Instead, they've got the whole thing of converting their spells to summons, and the summons are so balked in here that it's not worth it. At least the summons in Neverwinter Nights 1, you summon something, it lasted for hours. Here it lasts for minutes. Yeah, I don't know if it's a main character thing with the spells not working while these guys are creeping up. And I'm really, at this point, I'm just trying to get through it and not worry about it too much. Sort of feels like there should be more guys in this room, but obviously we've already fought them, and for some reason we have to go around the bar to get to the middle of the room. Okay, and that chest is trapped. That trap is chested. Yeah, that makes sense. And let's open that. No, I don't want to be following you. And I've got to do my buffs yet, don't I? What? Why is my constitution decreased? Must be the after effect of some spell. I wish you could see it. I can see the debuff here, but I wish it gave you the information about what caused it. Buff. Yeah, I forget to use buffs with the other characters. I know I did that sort of stuff a lot more in Neverwinter Nights 1 when I was playing my rangers. I would use like Bless a lot and Aid a lot and Bark Skin and all that sort of stuff. I find myself more and more sort of not doing those things, particularly when I'm playing Neverwinter Nights 2, and I don't understand why, but yeah. Let's see if this is going to do anything useful. Oh man, they're just non-stop here at the moment. As many crowd control as I can. Let's do another Ice Storm there. Great, now getting attacked again. We will die, will we? Well, you first. That's going to get quite a lot of them. See this guy, will he get hit or not? No, he's got too close to me, but... Come on, guys. just Kelgar and me, and I'm almost dead. I survived long enough to get that spell off. Yes. Didn't do enough good though. No. Damn it. Ooh. Cast him. And I got down. Damn it. Yeah. No. Quick save. Just too many guys coming out of nowhere. You can see them coming, but they're all stealthed, or whatever that is. And you can't do anything until they get right up to you, and then they do a sneak attack. Yeah. Maybe I need to do things like, as you said, stop in a doorway with Kelgar there, and then maybe if I use my Wand of Paralysation to paralyse someone on the other side of the doorway so that they can't, no one else can get through, that might help. But yeah, just, you know, walking down a corridor and having 10 guys come out the door, but you cannot attack them yet because they're apparently stealthed. It's, yeah, it's not fun. But I'll get through it. I think I have to control the other members of my party a little bit more too. They all just have a tendency to run off, and that means they run past another doorway, which triggers another bunch of guys to come out. I need to try and control them a little bit more and have us all stay together. That's one of the reasons why I really don't ever use any spell that does fear or anything like that. Because as soon as you fear something and it runs away, your guys are going to then chase him down. And then, you know, if he runs right into another pack of guys, you're dead. Happy New Year, the Red Spy. My New Year's Day is winding down. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here. So, I'm way in the future. Well, Happy New Year, and I hope 2018 is a good year for you. Mine has started off okay so far. Yes, I'm facing the right direction. Let's see what we've got here. That's right, there's no one in this room. No, go this way, thank you.
Yes.
And we will... do that and do that. While I'm waiting, I should have done my buffs. Action. Okay. Save that. Here. Okay. Maybe I should have took Wall of Fire. A Wall of Fire there would potentially get them as they all come down. So these guys are all valid targets coming towards me. Let's put another one of those right there. Okay, he's the nearest one at the moment, and he's fairly hurt. Going to do anything. I'll let these guys clean up by themselves. Okay, that worked better this time. That worked much better. Okay. Loot that. Loot that. Okay, no one in... Yep, a couple of guys in that room. So let's... Wait, stay together. Come on, back here. Where did you go, Eleni? You ran in there, didn't you? Yes, you did. Come out here. No, that's not what I want. That. Follow me. Coming down here. Okay, now... Let's guard me.
Nature will have its say.
Okay. Now let's drop an ice storm right on top of us.
Enemies are near.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, you know, why don't you heal yourself? Good. Now, what have we got? Just the two guys. I'm going to back off a little bit. And maybe just use some lesser spells for the moment. Not to waste anything. Well, I am sort of wasting them at the moment because they're not doing any good. There we go. Oh, another guy. And you're fully healthy, so let's use something decent on you. Come on, finish him off, guys. Well done, Kilgar. Okay. Thanks to Red Spy. You have a good time too. Hope it goes well. Okay, so let's save that. Come up here. And I told myself before I should have used the water elemental and didn't. Silly me. So we had cleaned that room out, hadn't we? Okay, let's come up here. We're going to run in here, and then we're going to run back out. You're throwing yourself in there again, Eleni. Thank you. Now, one more ice storm down here. And let's just throw a few more of these in. And maybe one more for good luck. You are just so annoying at the moment. That should have taken him down. Right. Where's Eleni? Right there, dying. Hurry up about it then. Either die or get up. Getting a bit annoyed with you. I think that's most of this area done then, if I remember rightly. Oh, did I just... I think I just messed that up. Moved too soon, wasn't paying attention. Yes, I did mess it up. Okay. Weapons rack, what's in there? A dagger, just a dagger plus one. That's all. Nothing special. Okay. Yeah, nothing special in here. I don't even think there's actually anything in that room. If I remember rightly. Nope. Okay, so here's where we have fun. Because this is the room where we take out Mora. Actually, it's interesting, it's been a long time since I've done this fight with anything apart from a Warlock. And all I know is what I did was my Warlock just focused on Mora and just pumped in Eldritch Blasts while the other guys just fought these couple of guys. But I'm probably going to have to do this a little bit differently. Although, I do have a plan. This price for betraying your own. You should see his price high. He's coming with me. Kill you. Okay, so let's target Mora and let's use the magic missile that my Robe of Energy has, which is at level 9. That hardly did anything to her, so I'm going to use a maximized magic missile, which will do at least 20 damage. Okay, so maybe a flame arrow next. That was much better, the flame arrow. Let's just throw another in. And maybe a third. There we go. Okay, so I normally give these to you because I don't need them.
How can I help?
So you can take that, which is +3 rapier, and you can take that, which is a little disappointing that after all that you don't actually see her wear it, her character. Yeah, Mora's pretty straightforward. Still knocked out Nishka, but you know, it wasn't too bad overall. I'm not going to bother doing a full rest. I'll just get you to heal her so she's not on death's door, and then let's talk to this guy and get this quest over and done with. Now that Moya's dead, we're finished in Neverwinter for a while. Do you have someplace in mind? Let's get moving. I don't want to ask you any questions. Let's just get out of here.
You've done well, Lieutenant. Phyllis is safely back under our protection. You are to be commended for your efforts on Neverwinter's behalf. Now that the matter is settled, perhaps we can turn our efforts to problems outside of Neverwinter's walls for once. The docks would not prove so important and tempting to thieves if trade routes around the mare were not so dangerous.
Yeah, I know what you
Now,
mean.
there is the matter of a
And it's
missing
like,
emissary from Waterdeep.
I bought the chapeau for my swashbuckler, which looked, pretty good on him, but it's like if I gave it to anyone else, you wouldn't even see it. It's like, yeah, well... And quite frankly, the mage hat looks a bit stupid sometimes. Particularly on my half-orc warlock who was wearing one. It looked a bit stupid on him. This is the emissary for what can I do to help?
I cannot stress how strained trade is as of late, and this missing emissary is not helping matters. Furthermore, if things become any more strained with Luskan, then lacking a friendly contact with Waterdeep may complicate matters. I'm concerned that he may have run afoul of the orc tribes that infest the region.
Makes you think they haven't
Usually
found
the
him.
tribes offer ransom demands, yet no demands have been forthcoming, which leads me to suspect that they do not have him captive, but that could quickly change. So I need you to investigate the matter as soon as possible.
Paladin Sorcerer. That's an interesting combination, although they do share charisma as their primary stat, so I can see where you'd go with that. Can you tell me who the emissary
We don't know who Waterdeep
is?
sent specifically, but he'll be carrying documents proving his identity. He should have arrived a full week ago. I am concerned that he may have run afoul of the orc tribes that infest the region.
And if he's dead...
If you can find any sign of the Waterdeep emissary in Old Owl Well, then we would welcome news of his fate. We need the trade and diplomatic relations with Waterdeep, especially in these difficult times with Luskan. I have other matters to attend to. Return here when you've found the Waterdeep emissary, and we will speak more.
Oakley dokley. Okay, I can't remember if we got much stuff. I don't think we did. I think it's worthwhile getting a couple of other little things out of the way first. Let's go to the Moonstone Mask. Actually, let's do that. Let's do both. Let's go to the Temple of Tyr first and get moving on the quest for Kelgar. Then we'll go to the Moonstone Mask and maybe we'll go and kill Leldon or steal back the coin from Leldon. Oh, actually, we've got this little
And that's why.
thing
Excuse
yet.
me.
As I was...
Stop right there, kid. We've got ourselves a thief.
I was just running. I run fast.
What's this about a thief?
Check your coin purse. And don't even think of moving, child.
Please, sir. I'm just running. Can I just leave?
What? Why, you're right. My coin purse is missing.
You're going straight to the watch after you hand over that pouch.
Are you sure she stole it?
She runs into my friend, and suddenly he's light one coin purse. Just last 10 day, I lost 10 gold to one of these scamps. And
Yeah,
I'm
I was
not
thinking
about
about
to let
going
this
Red Dragon
world,
Disciple
even if
as
you
well
sell
after,
it.
because I'm doing...
Turn out your pockets now.
This is Sorcerer slash... what's the term? The Scholar of Candlekeep. Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep. And I find that's a really good... It looked like a really good combination on paper to me. The big advantage is that you can keep gaining your levels as Sorcerer while... So I don't lose spells. I can still keep getting spells added to me. But as soon as I go... If I'm a Sorcerer and I immediately go to... Or at any point I go to Dragon Disciple, I don't keep progressing in my spells while I'm progressing as a Dragon Disciple. And so that seemed like a bit of a pain to me. Like you get wicked hit points out of it. You know, D12 per level is great, but I'm not able to then get any new spells. So yeah, because I was using Arcane Scholar is great because it gives you those improvements to meta magic. That's right. and Red Dragon Disciple kills your progression. So that's why I liked this combination. And I actually took, I'll show you in a sec, but I took the Mind Over Body feat at first level, which gives you 1 extra hit point for every meta magic or spell related skill that you have, or feat that you buy. So for example, I've got 2 or 3 extra hit points at the moment because I've picked up those meta feats. It's not a lot, 2 or 3 hit points. It's not per level, it's just total, but every little hit point helps. So you don't know that she's done anything. You don't have any proof.
Something she has nothing to feed.
I told.
Well, you're.
Thank you.
So yeah, I wrote up I planned out this character on NWN 2DB or whatever it's called, that site that I use. Yeah, NWN 2DB, where there's the character builder on there, and so I planned everything out, and my plan was I got to level 6 Sorcerer, then I took 10 levels of Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep, and if I could then still keep progressing, I would look at taking Red Dragon Disciple. But, I recognise that there's no more progression when I take Red Dragon Disciple, and so I may just look at it and go, you know what, if I get that far and I'm still, because I think I have to go on to the next module to continue on from this, and I still keep going that high, I may just decide to stay in Sorcerer, or maybe just take 1 level of Red Dragon Disciple just to get the massive hit point buff, and then go back to being Sorcerer again. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I could do that anyway. I could, at any point, I could just take 1 level of Red Dragon Disciple just to get a massive hit point buff. Yeah, it is. Red Dragon Disciple is definitely combat focused. I suppose it probably goes really well also if you're looking at like an Eldritch Knight type build. Throwing in a few levels of Red Dragon Disciple would help give you lots of hit points and give you a lot of those combat. So it gives you, because you get like a buff of 4 points to your strength, and then at level 10 of Red Dragon Disciple you get another 4. I think you get a Constitution buff as well on 1 level, and a Dex buff on another. So yeah, you get some good buffs there, and they're permanent, of course. But I don't know. You've got to be Sorcerer or you've got to be Bard to get it. Seems a bit limiting in that way, and then the fact that you just don't keep progressing as a Sorcerer. Yeah, +8 strength, +2 to con, and yeah, it's int and charisma, was it? Yeah. I couldn't remember. I was reading through it earlier trying to make up my mind if I wanted to do that or not. I knew definitely that I had everything planned out. Level 7 was the first level I would take of Arcane Scholar, and then from there I wasn't sure what I was going to do, whether I'd keep adding all the levels, because you get some pretty good buffs if you go all 10 levels of Arcane Scholar. By the end of it, you're casting maximize spell just like 1 level above the normal spell and things like that, I think it is. So it's pretty, that's a pretty good combination, I feel, with Sorcerer or Wizard, really. But Red Dragon Disciple, I don't know, I'm still undecided on that. I'm not going to read out all of this, I'm just going to get this out of the way. I've done all of this before. Can you help? Continue. Yeah. It's actually interesting. I see on a lot of sites, in particular on that NWN2DB site, people put up their builds and then other people critique them and review them. And there are a lot of people that sort of really go off at you if you put in a pure build. Like, if I only took Arcane Scholar of Candlekeep because I recognised that I wanted to play around with the meta feats a little bit more, because I hadn't used them before, and when I saw that that build, that class maximized all that, it's like, well, that's great. I'm gonna use that. But if that class didn't exist, if Arcane Scholar didn't exist, I would have played a 100% pure Sorcerer, and that's what I do most of the time. I don't mix things up. I play a pure warlock, for example, or a pure ranger, or a pure swashbuckler, or whatever I'm doing. It's only if I want to try one of the meta classes, like, for example, Arcane Archer, that I will, plan to do that, to build it that way. But if I want to just play a normal class that isn't a prestige class, then I play it all the way through, and I don't plan to mix it. But everyone on those sites are like, oh, well, you're not going to maximize your potential if you just play a sorcerer all the way through. You really need to add in a couple of levels of this and a couple of levels of that and this and that to get it to and it's like, I enjoy playing a sorcerer because it's a sorcerer, not because it's a level 9 sorcerer with 2 levels of monk and 1 level of shadow dancer or whatever it is, because that gives you, this, that, and the other. It's like, well, okay, yeah, that probably does help, but I don't always see the advantage in it. I know these games are very much, focused around, you really need to set up your character to do the maximum amount of damage that you can. That's why, I was mucking around playing a half-orc warlock, because I was looking at it going, well, what is it like to actually play a character that, is deliberately dumbed down? Like, the thing that you can't do in these games is you can't build a, what was his name, Pickle Boulder Shoulder. I don't know if you've ever read the stories that comes from, but Pickle Boulder Shoulder was this dwarven druid back in the D&D 2 days, written by the guy who does the Dritz de Werden novels. He did a series of novels about a young priest, and two of his companions were the Boulder Shoulder brothers, a pair of dwarven brothers. And one of them is a bit simple. To say he's a bit simple is, an under-exaggeration. He rarely speaks in full words, let alone full sentences. But he had this idea that he wanted to be a druid, and he was so simple-minded that he couldn't even say the word druid. It was doodad, was what he basically said. But in these games, you cannot lower a character's intelligence to anything below usually 8, unless the character already has a penalty on intelligence, in which case you can't make it any lower than 6. But I sometimes find, in a tabletop environment, which I haven't done for years, but I used to find in a tabletop environment, that playing a character that had some serious disability like that, whether it's really low intelligence or, they're really low dexterity, so they're just critically clumsy almost, or, feeble strength, or constitution, meaning they're always sick or whatever. It just really, it adds a level of variety to the game. I mean, you don't want to do it all the time, and you don't want to make it so bad that the character is unplayable, but it adds a bit of interest. I do remember that in Neverwinter Nights 1, there was a thing that they did do, though, that if the intelligence was low enough, they actually had, like, the choice option, the word options that you picked actually were dumbed down. So, like, at the start of the first adventure, where you meet those brothers in the room, and they tell you a little bit about the game and the fact that there's a plague on or whatever, your responses to a lot of their questions are things like, me Grimlock, type of things, because your intelligence was low. And I thought that was interesting. It also was strange that they didn't go the other way and completely turn that around and have a situation where characters that had, like a 19 for intelligence would be saying just vastly different things in their conversations, using much larger words, for example, to say things rather than just saying, well, you really need my help with this. Instead, they would ramble on for, you know, like three paragraphs in really long words to say basically the same thing. So, yeah, it's a little annoying that you can't do some of that stuff in some of these games. But yeah, these games are all set up so that, you know, maximizing damage is the way to go. If you have a character that doesn't maximize damage in some way, it's like I was saying before about the when I've tried to play dex-based fighters rather than strength-based fighters, it seems to me to be very, very hard. Even if you build a dex-based, crit-based fighter, I've had troubles with that. I'm going to try and do it again in both Neverwinter Nights 1 and Neverwinter Nights 2. I'm going to play around probably off camera and try that again. But it really seems to be that the games are set up that, you know, strength is the most important thing you've got there. And if you're not a character that needs strength, like a wizard or a sorcerer, for example, then you really need to maximize whatever stat that is that your character needs, because if you don't, you're not going to get very far in a lot of these games. Case in point is the fact that, you know, I think without the Rod of Frost, this thing here, this Rod of Frost, which I've got here, is... I can't show you now. But it is basically the Rod of Frost that you get in the first Neverwinter Nights campaign. When you go through the tutorial, you just get given it by the magic instructor after you complete the quest in there. If you don't have that Rod of Frost, as a spellcaster, you're really stuck, even just in the tutorial, because you have so few spells. Everything's going to get within melee range of you if you don't use that. And even though you've got a familiar with you, for the first part of that adventure, you're by yourself. You don't have a lot of help. And so you need something that you can use to attack rather than your fists or whatever melee weapon you want, because chances are your strength is going to be pitiful. And even though every single one of those goblins or kobolds or whatever they were they were goblins, weak goblins, whatever, every single one of those in there is like, you know, only 1 or 2 hit points. You can be swinging at them for minutes before you'll connect if you're a sorcerer or a wizard. You know, or you end up building a character that has, you know, a large amount of strength or whatever, just so that, oh yes, I know that for the first 5 levels of the game, if I am not swinging my quarterstaff at the opponents that come at me, they are just going to kill me in no time at all, because my spells, I don't have enough of them to make a difference. So that's why they had the Rod of Frost in there, so that you could at least have something that you could use every single round to zap them. And even though it's only doing 1 to 4 points of damage, it's doing something, which means you're doing a little bit of damage over time, more chance you'll survive. But yeah, that's the problem I have with a lot of these games, and there's not an easy solution to it at all. You know, if you're playing a desktop, if you're playing a round the table RPG with a bunch of friends, and there's a DM there, the DM can sort of smooth things out a lot in a lot of those cases. If there is a party that's low on strength and it's mostly, you know, spellcasters and stuff like that, you know, the DM might fudge a roll here and there to keep things going, because he doesn't want to see everyone wiped out in the first encounter with, you know, 3 or 4 goblins or whatever. Yeah, the Stone of Recall, yeah, it's a bit of a concession, it's a bit of a crutch, and it is needed for a lot of those characters in a way, you know. It's like you also got the gems that you can use and the ring that you can use in the Shards of Undrentide to recall back as well. They are useful. I mean, I rarely used those Stones of Recall or the gems of and that in those games. Not because partly because I forgot about them, but also partly because I didn't actually need them. I found the ways around all of that. But then again, a lot of the characters I was playing were the strength-based ones, you know. And you make sure you pick the right companions. I mean, I don't know if I've got the right companions here, but at the moment there's really only one other companion I can put in here, and that's Cora. And I thought there's really not a lot of sense having 2 sorcerers in the group, because if I add her in, you know, chances are a lot of the times we're going to be working at cross purposes. We could actually both be using the same spell at the same time in the same area, and it ends up being overkill, and one of us ends up wasting a spell. So yes, you're right, that you had to build those stones, but they were so easy to build, the gemstones in Shadow of Undrentide. There was so many quartz and the other things around that, you know, and did you find the, I mean, admittedly I didn't find these through trial and error, I found these from looking through guides, but did you end up finding the other things that you could build in Shadows of Undrentide? If you take the sword that the young paladin had in her chest, you can actually upgrade that with a couple of bits of crystal, I think it was, on that device, and it becomes quite a decent two-handed sword, her original training sword, and even if you don't use it, it sells for quite a bit. And there was a couple of other devices that you could build on that machine with a couple of reagents and some crystals. I can't remember what they were now, but I always, once I found out about that sword, I'd do it every single time. I'd take the sword from her room, the training sword that she had, and upgrade it. And if I wasn't going to use it, I'd definitely sell it, because the biggest problem then was trying to carry all of that stuff, because when you go into that part of the building, you suddenly end up weighed down because there's so much stuff to do. Yes, you're right. It was different in Neverwinter Nights' official campaign, because yeah, when you died, you got resurrected, whereas in Shadows of Undrentide you didn't. Yeah. Trial of the Maimed. Just trying to get through this text. Trial of Justice. I think I've asked about all of those now. Okay. Yeah, actually I could use some healing. Thank you. We do need to rest though, because we've used a lot of spells. Actually we haven't used that many at all. Damn it, I'm starting to think more about a crit-based, dex-based, finesse-based fighter again. I know I tried one just the other day. I can't remember how far I got. I think it was in Neverwinter Nights 2 as well. I was playing around with it. The problem, part of the problem is with playing a dex-based fighter, a finesse fighter here in Neverwinter Nights 2 anyway. Where am I going? Is that the mask? Yes, it is. That's the mask there. Part of the problem playing a... Where are you going? Wow. Okay, let's come over here instead. Sometimes the pathfinding in these games is terrible. The problem playing a dex-based finesse fighter, even if you play as just a straight fighter, not a swashbuckler, I have found anyway, is if you want to do the normal thing and play using rapiers, and you want to dual wield rapiers, because frankly, as far as I can see, I've never played a character that uses either just a single longsword or single one-handed weapon by itself. I've tried a couple of times. I got through to the docks in Neverwinter Nights 1 playing a couple of fighters, and usually got bored with them at that point, that were two-handed weapon, using great swords or great axes. But normally I go for dual wielding because you get double the attacks, even though you're doing less damage and that the two chances to hit, So I always basically pick up, if I'm creating a fighter or a fighter-based one, I've even done it with thieves. I tried a couple of times to play in Neverwinter Nights 1, to play like a slasher thief, because it makes more sense to me to be, if you can have 2 attacks per round, that's better than... yeah, and look, I like the parrying stuff. The biggest problem with the parrying, like, a lot of people think parrying is stupid and it doesn't work in both Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2. In 1 and 2, they both think it doesn't work, and it does. I can see that. The problem is, it is, compared to a normal fighter, it takes a lot of micromanagement. Because the big problem is, if you turn on parrying mode, and you're standing in front of an opponent, and that opponent is not attacking you, they're attacking someone else, you sit there and do absolutely nothing. Until you turn off parrying mode, and then you will start attacking that opponent in front of you. Because in parrying mode, you're waiting for them to attack you so that you can parry and hopefully riposte and hit them. And yeah, so it just, that doesn't, that takes a lot of micromanagement. You're always turning parrying on and off, on and off, on and off type of thing. Whereas some of the other mechanics, like for example, you know, something like power attack, you don't have to turn on or off. You can turn power attack on, and if you want to always be power attacking, you turn it on, it stays on. Even with the monk builds, you know, you could turn on whatever that thing is, flurry of blows, and it would just stay on until you turned it off. Or with rapid fire, when you're doing an archer build, you can turn it on and it just stays on until you turn it off. And that works, but the parrying thing, it doesn't work. I mean, the way it should be is that you should, if the opponent, you should be able to turn it on, and if the opponent is attacking you, it works correctly as a parry, and you parry and riposte and attack, and that's fine. But if they're not directly attacking you, and there is no one attacking you, you're just standing there, and there's someone in front of you, but they're attacking your companion, it should still allow you to attack them normally, and you're not getting any of the advantage of parrying, because, in fact, you should get the advantage of flanking in that point. So yeah, I'm starting to ramble on about my ideas about the game, but I do like those builds, and I really need to try it again. I love the concept of the swashbuckler, the fact that intelligence adds to your to hit. I can't remember if it adds to damage as well, but having the intelligence add to the hit as well, and that, and the fact that you do get, I think they get bonuses to parry as well, or there's a feat that they get that allows them to riposte more often, because normally you only riposte if your parry roll is 10 points higher than you need to parry, then you successfully riposte. But there's a skill that either you get or you get automatically, you can grab. I can't remember which one it was, but I've always used it with the swashbuckler, and it drops that value to 5 so that you can riposte a lot easier. And that is great, but it takes so much micromanagement to get parry to work well, because otherwise you forget you've turned it on, and you sit there and you wonder why you're not swinging at the opponent in front of you, and it's because you've got parry turned on, but they're not attacking you, they're attacking your companion. So yeah, it's really it's really hard. Yeah, I know, and that's so the what I did with my swashbuckler, right, is there is that light hammer that you pick up in the graveyard east of Fort Locke. So there's that little side tomb that you can go into, which you can't rest in, and in there, in one of the sarcophagi, is that little storm hammer or whatever it is, and it does, like, the hammer itself does 1d4 damage, and it does an extra 1d4 of lightning damage. So I would, because I'm dual wielding as a swashy, I would keep my my best rapier in my main hand, and I would put that light hammer as my second weapon in my other hand, so that I at least had a decent bludgeoning weapon to take on the undead. And that worked well. I found that worked really well. I also made sure that Kelgar had, when you do the swamp cave, which is a mission you don't have to do, but that's the swamp that's east of the Weeping Willow Inn. In that swamp cave there with the lizard folk, there is the Bone Crusher, whatever it's called. It's a mace or a Morning Star. Morning Star, I think they call it, which is not really the right name. But anyway, a Morning Star that's flaming. And I usually have him armed with that, and if I'm a swashbuckler, I'll be rapier and the storm. Once I get it, I clear out the main area first with a mace in my hand, and I also give a mace to Nishka as well, rather than a rapier, because the mace is light enough that it's mace or light hammer are both finessable, I think. And so I would do that first until I could get that hammer, and then that made it easier with attacking the undead. Never mind, I'm going out. Okay, so I've done that in here while we're talking. I'm starting to lose track of what I'm doing in the game now because I'm talking so much about various things, but that's alright. Damn, I'm wanting to... See, this is my problem. I start playing a game, and I get a certain way into it, and then I start thinking about other combinations of what I could be doing. Oh, I could be doing a swashbuckler, or I could be doing this. I've gotten this far through the game as a swashbuckler before. I found the warehouse was very challenging as a swashbuckler. Mostly because, as I said, I just had so much trouble managing. I should have been using parry a lot more in that case, and that's the other time when the parry stuff gets really hard, is when there's multiple opponents attacking you, because you only get the same number of parries as attacks that you have in a round. So even if you're dual wielding, and at this point in the game, let's see, Kelgar he's got 2 attacks at the moment, so let's say I'm a swashbuckler, I'm dual wielding, and I've got the improved 2-weapon fighting by now. That means I've got 4 attacks per round rather than 3. Even then, if you've got more than 4 opponents attacking you, you're going to take hits. And the fact is that most of the guys that are attacking you, that's why the warehouse and this other rescue that I just did was so hard, is because most of those rogues that are attacking you are dual wielding themselves. So it's like you're not coming across one opponent, you're coming across 2, because they've got 2 different attacks. And so as a dual wielder, and the thing is, if they're dual wielding and they're at the similar level to you, they've got 4 attacks as well. So it's like, unless you're one-on-one when you're doing the parrying, you're going to take a lot of hits. But you're going to take a lot of hits anyway, but you're going to take a lot of hits without you necessarily doing a lot of hits back, because you're trying to parry and then riposte, and you're only riposting if your parry value is high enough. So yeah, it gets really... I found it really hard to manage all of that. That was the big thing for me. But of course now I wanted... And the other thing that makes the swashbuckler so hard in this official campaign is when the official campaign was written, the swashbuckler never existed. So when you start the game, and if you skip the tutorial and go straight into... I must do the tutorial and see if you can pick up decent equipment in the tutorial. But if you skip past the tutorial and you start... Yes, Storm of Zahir is when they brought it in, I believe. I haven't played that adventure yet. But when you start in West Haven and you open up your chest which has your equipment in it, there's absolutely nothing in it. So you have no weapon at all when you start as a swashbuckler. So you have to go downstairs, wait for the dowager to come in and attack. You've got to attack them barehanded, and wait for them to die so you can pick up a short sword from one of them, and then you're not going, if you want to specialise in rapier rather than a short sword, you're not going to see a rapier until you get to Fort Lock. So you're going to have to, you may have specialised, yes, there's a club, there's a +1 club, but the club isn't finessable, I don't believe. So you're only going to use your strength-based skills, and most of the, I've not bothered to put anything in strength in any of the swashbucklers I've done. I've usually kept their strength at 10 or maybe 12, purely because I wanted to give the skills to Dex or to Charisma or to Constitution or Intelligence. You've got lots of different things you want to put points in. So yeah, starting a swashbuckler is really hard, because if you have specialised in, if you've taken weapon focus in rapier, you can't use one until you get to Fort Lock. So you'll be level 3 maybe, or even level 4 by the time you get one. Maybe level 3. I can't remember. But yeah, it seems to make the game really hard when you first start because of that. I can't remember if Warlock is the same. I think Warlock wasn't in the game either, and I can't remember if I think the Warlock though got the same as like a Sorcerer or whatever. Yeah, I think they did. Because I don't remember not getting anything in my chest when I picked Warlock. And of course then you also don't have any specialist, well, not that Duelist is the specialist, which is not really meant to be the prestige class of swashbuckler in particular, but I never saw the point in grabbing Duelist class though. Yeah, I never saw the point in going to Duelist, because there's one major feat that you get as Duelist which can't be used when you're dual wielding, and it's like I went, so that means I've got to go back to just a single rapier. I don't know if I want to do that, just to get, because you do get some good stuff in Duelist as a class, but because one of the main things that you get limits you to a single-handed weapon, not dual wielding, it just, yeah, I don't know, I had real problems committing to going down the Duelist route instead. What have we got to sell? Open. We don't. Oh, I've got a little bit there, so let's. I don't know if you've done this before. I used to, because I like to keep a clean backpack as much as possible, I like to put everything into my lesser magic bags or whatever I've got. Saves on weight and all that stuff. And even though technically these shards, I don't think they actually weigh anything. Well, they do. They weigh 1/3 of a pound. So there you go. I've always put them into my lesser magic bag. Have you noticed the funny little bug around that? Because if you save the game with those in your magic bag and then you come back into the game, so you load from a save, because they're not in your inventory, it'll say 66 here, but 76 there. And it's not until you pull it back out of the bag and then it'll go, oh, yep, you've got that, fine, I'll let your hit points now be 76, and then you'll put it back in the bag and it'll still say 76 for both until you have to load from a save again, and then it'll all screw up again. And I've actually been unclear as to whether the acid and electrical bonus, the actual acid and electrical resistance, actually is still working while it's in your lesser magic bag rather than in your backpack. It's unclear as to whether that is still a problem or not. I haven't worked that one out yet. But it's an annoying little bug, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm stopping it. I'm not putting it in my bag anymore, because I want to free up space. I don't want it sitting here in this all the time. Because the other thing is, I'm used to just, okay, I can sell everything from this point onwards, and you double click on it going, why is that not being sold? Oh, hang on, that's a shard, I'm not supposed to sell that anyway. Whoops, glad I didn't sell that. I'm glad it wouldn't let me sell that. But yeah, try and put it in the magic bag, and it works, but it doesn't until you pull it back out after a save. Yeah, that's fine. That. Yeah, but then you can't use this thing to sort your inventory. You can put them in the last one, that's fine, but you can't use the auto sort then. Because I was the same in Neverwinter Nights 1. All the stuff that was quest based that weighed nothing, all the keys, all the items for all the NPCs that you kept that were their contract items, I would put them on the last page of inventory as well. But when they added the sorting option in here, I just used to always use it because it seemed, it was quite good. It sorted things out, and because that was the one, inventory management in Neverwinter Nights 1 is a pain because things take up different sizes and all that sort of stuff. And that used to just really bug me. And when I saw this, I went, oh, cool, I can just click a button and everything sorts. That seemed really great, but it's not that good because it gets in the way as well. I don't want that, and I don't want that. So like now, I can just click that and, oh look, it's all back, but I don't really want that because I want to sell that, and that's a trap, I don't want to sell that. Because that's the other thing, it's because everything now just takes one slot, it's not as easy to see what things are. You've got to look at this and that, what is that? Okay, that's a Rod of Frost, okay. Whereas the Rod of Frost in Neverwinter Nights 1 was something that took up 3 spaces tall and it was thin, and okay, that's a rod, yep, I understand that. That's a long sword, that's a throwing axe, whatever. You could see it, you could better make out what it is, but I guess I'm just complaining about silly little things at the moment because it's really not that bad. But yeah, don't go throwing the things in your magic bag, the shards, because they don't necessarily work. Like, that's the thing. I don't know if it actually shows on here that I've got. So yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't actually show anywhere here that I'm getting, what is it, 5%? Yeah, I've got 5 acid resistance and 5 electrical resistance. It doesn't show it here somewhere, but it should show it because it's important. It should also show that I'm getting the 10-point HP buff there. And without knowing that it's not working, without being able to visibly see it, you don't know if it's working at all. You don't know. And so, yeah, you put it in your pouch and then suddenly you find your hit points are lower. It's like at the moment, 76, that value doesn't look right to me. It doesn't seem right. So I sit there and I do the calculations. And it's like, okay, I've got plus 4 hit points a level, and I'm now level 8. So that means 8 8s is 64. Plus I've got 2 meta feats, which is 66, plus the 10 from the health bonus shard is 76. Okay, that does make sense. But I look at it and go, 76, I'm sure it was higher than that before, or I'm sure it was lower than that before, or whatever. And it's the shard doing my head in because I'm putting it in my magic bag, and I shouldn't be. And I want more magic bags, and I want them to be bigger, but I've got to wait for that. Because it's annoying that I can only get, in Neverwinter Nights 1, even though you couldn't afford it, you could see that people had the magic bags that had 40% or 60% or 80% reduction. Yeah, that's right. You don't need to see the stuff that'll save your life. And so now I end up with 4 bloody bars all full of stuff, and then even that is hard sometimes to work out what's what. And so I end up putting things on the bar to remember that I've got them, like this bowl of water elemental, and then I still forget to use the damn thing. At least these shards are passive and you don't have to do anything with them. It would be worse if you had to, like, use the health shard every day to get it to buff you that 10 points. That would be annoying. Even if you only had to do it once a day, I would be continually forgetting to do it in that case, because it's hard enough. I put it in the magic bag and I forget to take it back out after a save. That's hard enough. Okay. Oh, hang on. I didn't check to see if...
Yes.
you had anything to sell? No, good. And there's nothing that you have to sell except for those bolts and that rapier. And you're doing alright. So let's just go back here and let's just sell those last couple of items. Can you see what you got for sale? Right, cool, done. Out of here. Let's go. Oh, I've been meaning to say to you, Cowentology, I don't know what it was, but you had a stream running over the Christmas break, so, you know, a few days ago. And I don't know whether it was a VOD or whether it was you doing a normal stream, whatever, but I saw you were streaming and I checked in on it and the screen was black. There was sound, but there was no video. So I just thought I'd let you know that that happened, because I had one video really early on, like a month ago when I first started streaming, where I was using this headset. This is a Bluetooth headset, which I got a year ago. I absolutely love. It does have a problem every now and then. It's doing it at the moment, actually, where the sound comes in about a second after it should. That's not normally a huge problem for me, but because of the way it works, I have to go in and set my properties to say when I'm recording it with OBS to use this particular device as the output device for the computer, so that it will pick up the sound, because if I don't, it won't get any of the in-game sound, because it's sending all the in-game sound to this device rather than a normal internal headset speaker device. And so I had a video that I did where there was no sound on it. Everyone could hear my voice, because that comes through the mic on the camera at the moment. 40-hour garbage stream because OBS decided not to shut off. That's not fun. Yeah, because I think I noticed it twice over a couple of days. So I just thought I'd mention it. I've been meaning to mention it. I noticed it, and then I saw you come in the other day, and I forgot to tell you. I just remembered it again. Because, yeah, I've had problems with my stream as well, with the sound, not the video. But unfortunately, that's the one reason why I'm not streaming Neverwinter Nights 1 at the moment. I have played a little bit over the last week or so with a Sorcerer in Neverwinter Nights 1 as well, but I'm not streaming it because I have this strange thing going on where I'm getting frame tearing, I think it's called. Various parts of the screen will flicker, and it's only it's only OBS seeing it. When I'm playing the game, I don't see it. OBS does. And strangely enough, I'm not playing the game full screen. Even this Neverwinter Nights 2 is not full screen for me on my second monitor. It's it's a smaller resolution. It could be with Neverwinter Nights 2. It's not such a big deal. But Neverwinter Nights 1, if I go full screen, it captures the mouse and I can't get it out of the screen at all. But when it's smaller size, the weird thing is if the screen window isn't hard up in the top left-hand corner of the screen tearing in OBS is 10 times worse. So if I just move it into the center of the screen or move it over to the right-hand side, which I tend to do, the smaller window, I'll move it over to the right because it's then centered in the two screens and I don't have to look so far to the edge. My old eyes don't work all that well, etc. Yeah, for some reason, if it's over and not up in the top left-hand side of the screen tearing is just like, you almost can't see the video at all in OBS for everything just flickering around all over the place. If I put it up in the top left-hand corner, it'll run for a few minutes and then it'll start flickering. And if I then just move it out and move it back in, just move it I can move it like 5 pixels left and then back to the right again, and it'll calm down, and for another few minutes it'll be good. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try and stream something where I have to move the game window every couple of minutes to stop it flickering while it's recording. It's too unprofessional. So I have to try and find another solution to that. I've spent about 4 hours so far playing around with settings and all this sort of stuff. I'm on Linux, so that might be part of it. But this is the only game I've had problems. Neverwinter Nights 1 is the only game I've had problems streaming on OBS. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is fine. Neverwinter Nights 2 is fine, even though that's playing under wine, because this is the Windows version of Neverwinter Nights 2 that I'm playing. Sword Coast Legends is a Linux version. It's under Steam. No problems at all. Works perfectly fine. Yeah, it's really odd that just Neverwinter Nights 1 is giving me grief, and I really wanted to stream that the other day and couldn't because it was just so bad. It could be the new version of OBS. I could look at that. That might be easy. I might try that. Thank you. That is definitely an interesting suggestion. I didn't think of that. Just going to see. I think there's a... I'm waiting for the kids to come and want to stay at the inn, and then also now that I've got Nishka in my party, there should be someone coming to talk about Leldon. So here's the kids. That's good.
There you are. I've been meaning to chat with you. You've helped me and Dory out of some scrapes, so I wanted to thank you proper. I've got a proposition for you. I heard you're friends with the owner of the Sunken Flagon.
The interesting thing is, though, is that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is way older than Neverwinter Nights 1, and yet they work perfectly fine. Having said that, Neverwinter Nights 1 is more of a 3D game, whereas Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 definitely aren't really 3D. So, yeah, there could be something to that. I'll definitely going to look into that, I think.
Don't you think? I'm glad we've come to an agreement then. Dory, myself, and the rest will be by the Sunken Flagon. See you back at the Flagon then.
Bye.
See you back at the Flagon. We're right outside the Flagon. It's like... I tell you what, the... I think I did it last night before midnight on the stream. The whole Quora subquest. Okay, so you've got mods on Baldur's Gate 2 and that causes problems. Interesting. The whole Quora subquest on here. Walked out of the inn with Quora in my party and you get attacked, and that happens twice. Man, that second fight was so hard because the thing, it's annoying. You come out of here and half the time, if there's a cutscene, everything's black for the first few seconds before it decides to work out what camera angle to look at you from. I'm waiting to see if this other friend of Nishka's turns up, but I guess not. We're doing... Let's just see what Sam's got before we decide what we're going to do next. But yeah, that second fight of the academy students, man oh man, that was hard. And the problem is the screen's so black, and you can hit you start, they talk to you and the screen's still black and there's the text there for the talking options, and then you press 1 to go through that, and then it's back to normal. You now, okay, we're now starting the fight, and you can hear them starting to cast spells. And so I hit spacebar to pause everything so I can queue up what I want to do, but I still can't see them or me. And so you think that it hasn't worked, so you're hitting space again and again and again to try and get it to pause or unpause or something so you can see something. And I was just getting wiped out. I finally decided to calm down in that fight. I think the third time I went through it and said, okay, I'm going to press pause just once, immediately after the dialogue boxes are finished, and I will just wait a few seconds and see if it then decides what camera angle it's going to give me and I can see what's going on. And it did. And it was like, oh, thank God. Okay, now I can start queuing up spells and wiping these guys out. And that fight didn't end up being all that hard at all. But initially you've got 4 or 5... Well, no, actually, I think it's more than that, but most of them are students, but you've got the main wizard and then there's a bunch of students around you in a circle, and they're just all throwing spells at the entire group. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because there's there's the main, one of them is a wizard from the the academy, and the rest are all students. And there's got to be maybe a dozen students. You're right, and they're all just casting spells, and it's all like burning hands or whatever. So you're in the middle, and you're being surrounded by 10 even low-level wizards casting burning hands at you, and you can just watch your health just drop like a waterfall. Doesn't matter what character you are. Like, my entire party got wiped out in about 3 seconds the first time I did that. But because I'm on an easy level, and I was able to drop a couple of scintillating spheres on myself, that wiped them out, all except for the instructor, or whoever he was, the real wizard. And then he started throwing magic missiles at me, but thankfully I had this wonderful robes of energy on, which are immune to magic missiles. I saw that at Fort Lock, and I went, that's it, I've got to have that. And ever since, I have loved this armor. I don't know if I'll ever change to anything else, because being invulnerable to magic missile is just so cool, and the first thing that most wizards throw at you is magic missile, because then you can just throw anything you want back at them, and it itself will cast 1 9th level magic missile a day. I'm at 9th level now, or 8th level, sorry. Once I get to 9th level, it won't be as important, but it's 1 extra magic missile that I can cast every day. I can't maximize it like I can with my normal spells, but just having, 1 extra 9th level magic missile that you can cast every day is pretty cool. And just to be completely invulnerable to magic missile is just, I think I had one other fight somewhere where there was like 2 or 3 wizards all casting magic missiles at me, and I'm just casting back laughing at them. But yeah, it is hard until you get things sorted out. Once you put Cora in your party. But I wasn't going to put her in my party now anyway, because, as I said before, it sort of feels like we'd be at cross purposes, 2 sorcerers with pretty much the same spell layout. It'd be alright if I could control her a bit more and change a lot of her spells to be very different to mine, but when you get 2 people that cast, say, Fireball to the same spot, and the first one's Fireball wipes out all of the enemies, the second one's is wasted, so that's why I decided not to put her in my party at the moment, even though I know as a sorcerer she's pretty OP as long as you can keep her in the back so she doesn't get squished. Just can't remember if he's got any decent wands or things like that I haven't bought yet. He's got another bone wand. I want to make my own wands soon. I think the next time I get the ability to add a feat, I'm not going to go for any meta spell feats or anything like that. I'm going to create wand, and then I want to see if I can, because one of the suggestions I've seen about using wands is to take a lot of these spells like Mage Armor and Resistance and Protection from Alignment that you use all the time and put them in a wand, and then unlearn those, forget those, and pick up something else. Yeah, you're right, you can do a little bit of that with sand, but as a regular wizard, I just hate that whole idea of having to say, well, I want 2 magic missile and an identify today. It's like, yeah, if you're reading a lot of guides and you know what's coming up in the various parts of the game, then you can sit there and go, oh, that's right, I saw what rods he had previously, I don't want any of that stuff. Yeah, you can sort of base your spells on that, but I don't want to do that, and so you can often end up with spells that you just are completely useless for a given situation. Although, there are some people that argue that things like Fireball can be used everywhere, if you're willing to kill your own party, but on the difficulty level I'm on, that's not a problem. I think I've already bought the bag this guy had, haven't I? Yes, I have. Yeah, okay. What are we doing? This is the thing. This is what happens you come out of a doorway and suddenly you're all zoomed in, and if there's a roof right above you, sometimes you can't see your characters, and that's what happened with the fight. You couldn't see any of the characters for several seconds because they were stuck in here underneath that roof line, and the angle of the camera and everything was way down here, but there's a roof right in front of you, so the whole screen was black. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, see, that's why I don't give Eleni too many things like
I am listening.
you know, not that Call Lightning and stuff like that, Arc of Lightning and Call Lightning. I only give her a few of those and a few of these. Try not to give her too many, because yeah, she blows it all on a single goblin, and then you're stuck for the rest of the day. And she doesn't seem to want to prefer to heal. She wants to get in there and fight. Maybe I need to change some of her settings so that she doesn't do melee as much, but there's not really anything that does that, I don't think. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this stream. It's been good. It's been nice to have a chat while I'm playing, but I've been going for nearly 4 hours now, so I'm going to take a bit of a break, I think. Get a couple of chores done around the house, have some dinner. I might be back on in a few hours, but seeing as it's probably pretty late wherever you are, you probably won't be around. But it's been good. And I think I'm just going to save up. I think it's been a long time since I've saved too, hasn't it? Oh yeah. Yeah. That auto save there was 20 minutes ago. And that quick save was over an hour ago. Okay, part of that is I've been talking so much, and part of that is I haven't been saving enough. Well, have a good new year. Hope it all goes well for you, and well, I'm in the new year already, but I'll see you in the new year sometime later on. Unfortunately, I'm back to work tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday the 2nd of January, so back to work, which means my streaming times will be later than this. Normally this would be just me getting home from work at this time of day, so on a good day. Some days I don't even get home for another hour yet, but yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a nice New Year's, and I'll see you later.